Right, just when you think things can't get any darker in the Dales. Bam! Next week, everything changes. A shocking betrayal. A life-saving operation gone horribly wrong. And a funeral that could tear the Dingle family apart. Yes, Emmerdale's back next week with twists you won't see coming. And trust me, you'll want to see every bit of it. From Monday, 23rd June, to Friday, 27th June, the village is about to be rocked by 12 jaw-dropping moments, including a kidnap, a major medical scare, and one of the most emotional showdowns we've seen all year. So, if you're a true Emmerdale fan, don't miss a second of the drama. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, tap the bell so you're the first to know, and stick around till the end. We've got every spoiler you need right here. Let's dive into the chaos coming next week. 1. Robert struggling to cope. Back in the village and full of guilt after accidentally hitting Victoria, Robert decides it's best to move out. Victoria's worried though. He's clearly not over the trauma from prison. He tries starting fresh with a job at the depot, but it doesn't last long. Caleb makes up an excuse to let him go. Turns out John was behind it, and Robert's furious when he finds out. 2. John pushes Robert to the edge. John's dead, set on forcing Robert out of the village. He sees Victoria's black eye and pressures her to call the police. Robert overhears and turns to Aaron for support, but gets knocked back when Aaron coldly shuts him down. To block out the pain, Robert turns to booze and random flings. It only cuts deeper when Aaron doesn't seem to care one bit. 3. Robert gets kidnapped. Robert heads out on a date, not realising his drink's been spiked. While he's out of it, John makes his move. He bundles Robert into his van, syringe in hand, and drives off. Robert later wakes up terrified in the back of the van. No clue how he got there or what's been done to him. 4. Cain blows up at Jacob. Jacob lets slip to Cain about Sarah's IVF plans, and Cain doesn't take it well. His angry outburst shocks Sarah and leaves a rift between them. Now, Sarah's second-guessing whether she's making the right decision at all. 5. Jacob steps up for Sarah. When Sarah opens up about her doubts, Jacob tries to comfort her. He ends up making a huge gesture, offering to be her sperm donor so she can still have the future she wants. But will Sarah say yes? 6. Sarah's op takes a bad turn. Charity starts off by backing Sarah up, but when it really comes down to it, she admits she's not fully behind her decision. That little moment of doubt cuts deep for Sarah, especially when she needs all the support she can get. It's a tough pill to swallow, hearing that from someone who's meant to be in your corner. But, in true Sarah style, she holds her head high and goes through with the surgery anyway, trying to stay strong while everything inside her's probably in pieces. Meanwhile, back at the hospital, the air's thick with tension. Cain's trying to keep it together, while Charity's clearly struggling too, even if she won't admit it. You can feel the worry hanging over them like a cloud. Then, the doctor walks in, and just like that, everything shifts. The operation didn't go to plan. It's that gut punch moment that leaves everyone stunned, and suddenly, all those worries they were trying to push down come rushing to the surface. 7. Tracy bans the Dingles from Nate's funeral. Belle's desperate to keep the peace, especially with something as emotional as Nate's funeral. So, when she hears Tracy making plans, she steps in and pleads with her to let the Dingles say goodbye. But Tracy's got her walls up high. She thinks Belle's pointing fingers, and the idea that the Dingles might be judging her is just too much. So, she slams the door shut and tells Belle it's not happening. It hits hard, especially for Cain, who's already struggling to cope with the loss. Being told he's not welcome feels like a proper kick in the gut. Not wanting to give up, Belle ropes in Vanessa, hoping she might get through to her sister. But once Tracy opens up about how this funeral is her way of finding some kind of peace, it shifts the mood. It's not about shutting people out for the sake of it. It's her trying to deal with the guilt and grief in her own way. And in that moment, even Vanessa can't bring herself to argue. There's just too much pain wrapped up in it all. And suddenly, it's not as black and white as it first seemed. 8. Joe's got his eye on Billy Joe's convinced Billy's behind a string of petty attacks. His car's been keyed, and now his medication's gone missing. He tells Sam he reckons Billy's playing games and decides it's time to confront him. 9. Joe sets his trap. When the confrontation with Billy backfires, Joe's pride takes a hit. Sam jokes that Joe needs his own Graham to do his dirty work, and the idea sticks. Joe tracks down Sean and ropes him in to teach Billy a lesson. Trouble's brewing. 10. Paddy gets worried about Bear. Paddy's been quietly watching Bear and things just aren't sitting right with him. Little things here and there are starting to add up, and you can tell it's playing on his mind. So he does the sensible thing and chats to Gabby about it, just to get a second opinion. She doesn't brush it off. In fact, she spots some of the same signs she saw with her own dad, and that's enough to make her gently suggest it might be time Bear saw a doctor. Now, Paddy's already feeling a bit nervous bringing it up. But when he finally does, Bear's reaction isn't what he hoped for. It doesn't calm the situation. It makes it worse. There's this tension between wanting to help and not wanting to scare him, but Bear's response only adds to Paddy's worries. It's a tough spot to be in, especially when it's someone you love, and Paddy's clearly carrying the weight of it. 11. Paddy tries to test Bear. Paddy's still got that uneasy feeling in his gut, so he turns to Gabby with this idea of quietly doing an online dementia test on Bear, thinking it might give him some answers without causing a fuss. Marlon gets roped in to help, both of them trying to handle it delicately, but Bear's not as clueless as they expected. He picks up on something feeling off, and suddenly their quiet little plan starts falling apart. It's one of those moments where good intentions just don't land the way they were meant to, and it leaves Paddy feeling even more stuck. 12. Matty remembers Amy. With Amy's birthday coming up, Matty's emotions are all over the place. Grief has a way of creeping in when you least expect it, and this milestone just brings everything flooding back. But Victoria, bless her, steps in with some thoughtful ways to mark the day and keep Amy's memory alive. It's not over the top, just little gestures that show how much she still means to them. For Matty, it hits home in all the right ways. It doesn't fix everything, but it gives him a bit of comfort, and maybe even a first step towards finding some peace. And there you have it, 12 massive twists heading straight for the village, and not a single moment of peace in sight. Whether it's heartbreak, betrayal, or the kind of chaos only Emmerdale can deliver, next week is set to stir things up big time. From Robert's terrifying ordeal to Sarah's devastating setback and Tracy's emotional standoff, there's something hitting every corner of the village. So, if you're bracing yourself already, you're not alone. Let us know down in the comments which storylines got you most on edge, or if there's one you reckon could go in a totally different direction. And if you want the spoilers first, before they hit the telly, don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell. There's plenty more drama where that came from, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next.